Vans is an American manufacturer of shoes, based in Cypress, California. The company also produces apparel, and other products such as t-shirts, hoodies, socks, hats, and backpacks. As of August 2013, the brand is active in the action sports industry and sponsors skateboard, surf, snow, BMX, and motocross teams. History. Founding. On March 16, 1966, at 704 East Broadway in Anaheim, California, U.S., brothers Paul Van Doren and James Van Doren, Gordon Lee, and Serge Dellau opened the first Vans store under the name the Van Doren Rubber Company. Paul Van Doren and Dellau owned the majority of the company, while James Van Doren and Lee each owned a 10% stake. The business manufactured shoes and sold them directly to the public. On that first morning, 12 customers purchased Vans deck shoes, which are now known as Authentic. The company displayed 3 styles of shoes, which were priced between $2.49 and $4.99, but on the opening day, the company had only manufactured display models without any inventory ready to sell. The store rec boxes were actually empty. Nevertheless, the 12 customers selected the colors and styles they desired, and were asked to return later in the afternoon to pick up their purchases. Paul Van Doren and Lee then rushed to the factory to manufacture the selected shoes. When the customers returned that afternoon to pick up their shoes, Paul Van Doren and Lee realized that they had forgotten to maintain a cash reserve to provide change to customers. The customers were therefore given the shoes and asked to return the following day with their payments. All 12 of the customers returned the following day to pay for their items. 1970s. The company continued to grow into the 1970s. Skateboarders who liked Vans' rugged makeup and sticky sole were seen wearing Vans all over Southern California in the early 1970s. In 1975, the Vans number 95, known today as the Era, was designed by professional skateboarder Tony Alva and skateboarding figure Stacy Peralta. With a padded collar and different color combinations, the Era became the shoe of choice for a generation of skateboarders due to the non-slip bottom being more conducive for a better grip. In 1976, Vans introduced the number 44 shoe, and with the help of skateboarders and BMX riders, the Vans slip-on became popular in Southern California. By the end of the 1970s, Vans had established 70 stores in California, U.S., and sold through dealers, both nationally and internationally. During this period the company also produced wool-lined canvas and rubber mouclucs, under contract to the U.S. Department of Defense and the U.S. Air Force. 1980s. During the 1980s, Paul Van Doren began to take a less significant role in the Campania Euro unregistered trademark S activities. During this period, Vans started to create shoes for a number of sports, including skateboarding, wakeboarding, motocross, and surfing in an effort to compete with the large athletic shoe companies. Vans slip-ons gained international attention and appeal when they were worn by Sean Penn in the 1982 film Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Bankruptcy. Vans owed $12 million in debt by the end of 1984 and Paul Van Doren later filed for bankruptcy. After 2 years, Paul Van Doren finished paying his debts and once he regained his company, the demand for shoes was extremely high. Vans subsequently produced over 2 million shoes and generated over $50 million. 1988 to Euro 1989. In 1988, Paul Van Doren sold the Vans company to the banking firm McCown Delia & Company for $74.4 million. In 1989, many manufacturers of counterfeit Vans shoes were apprehended by the U.S. and Mexican officials and ordered to cease production. 1990s. Vans closed their Orange, California factory and began manufacturing footwear overseas in 1994. Also in 1994, Vans sponsored the inaugural Triple Crown skateboard contest series that developed into the Vans Triple Crown Contest Series. In 1998 Vans opened the 46,000-square-foot, indoor-outdoor Vans skate park at The Block in Orange County, U.S. 2000s. At the commencement of the 21st century, Steve Van Doren, the son of Paul Van Doren, remains with the company, as does his sister Cheryl and his daughter Christy. In 2000 and 2001, Forbes recognized Vans as one of America unregistered trademark's best small companies. In 2002, Vans opened an enclosed skatey park in the Festival Bay Mall on International Drive in Orlando, Florida that was eventually closed on January 21, 2012. At this time, the shoes were still being sold for as little as $45. In 2004, Vans launched a Vans Customs feature on its website, whereby customers could log on to the Vans website and design their own pair of Vans slip-ons, mid-cuts, or high tops. 2010s. As of August 2013, the Vans skateboard team is filming a video, and team rider Jeff Rowley explained in an August 2013 interview that the video will represent a team of grateful Vans riders returning the support that they have received from the shoe brand thus far. Skateboard filmmaker Greg Hunt, who previously worked on the Alien Workshop video Minefield, is solely responsible for the video, and it is the first ever project that Hunt has been given complete creative control over. As of 2015, customers can design their own custom era, slip-on, old school, authentic low pro, 106 vulcanized, Chukka low, and SK8 high shoes. Teams. Skateboard skate team members are the following. Signature, Gilbert Crockett, Kimmer Ferguson, Jeff Rowley, Tony Trujillo, Anthony Van Engelen. Pro, Andrew Allen, Pedro Barros, Elijah Burl, Curran Caples, Jason Dill, Dustin Dollin, Omar Hussein, Daniel Lutheran, Alex Perelson, Chris Vanna, Kyle Walker. Amateur, Lizzie Armanto, Rowan Zorilla. Legend, Tony Alva, Ray Bobby, Steve Caballero, John Cardiel, Jeff Grosso, Christian Hossois. Surf Ryan Emmett, Nathan Fletcher. Men, John Florence, Dane Reynolds, Patrick Godorskas, Tanner Godorskas, Dane Godorskas, Nathan Fletcher, Joel Tudor, Alex Nost, Andrew Doheny, Dylan Graves, Kalani Chapman, Shea Lopez, Nathan Florence, Ivan Florence, Kai Bor Garcia, Josh Malloy, Jard Mellb. Women, Layla Hurst, Tyler Skizler, Savannah Biley. Snow Pat Moore, Andreas Werrig, Zach Marbin, Daryl Maths, Mark Landvik, Hannah Beeman, Marcus Keller, Arthur Longo, Jake Kizike, Eric Willett, Cheryl Mars, Iori Podledchikov, Wonyi Velt, Mike Rav, Dylan Ojo, Sam Taxwood, Danimals. BMX Ryan Whitler, Scotty Kramer, Corey Nastasio, Gary Young, Tyler Morrow, Sean Sexton, Francisco Zurita, Daniel Sandoval, Dennis McCoy, Alex Duanachi, Dakota Roche, Brian Kaczynski, Tyler Fernangel, Pat Casey, Mike Hucker Clark. Warped Tour. Vans has sponsored the Warped Tour for over 15 years. Worker rights. Vans currently has a rating of C for not ensuring that workers receive a living wage. Public skate parks. The company built its first free skate park in Huntington Beach, California, which was opened to the public in 2014. It includes a 17,500 square foot skate bowl and a 25,000 square foot skate plaza. The park is 42,500 square feet, and Vans pays the city $1 per year for the 20-year lease. This park is open 7 days a week. The first skate park was opened in 1998 at the Outlets of Orange. It features a 20,000 square foot indoor street course, a combi pool, which is 12 feet deep, an area for amateurs, mini ramps, an outdoor street course, and an arcade. The park was updated in 2008. There is also a skate park in London, in the Old Vic Tunnel, called House of Vans. See also. References. External links, official website.